All right, hey, how about now? Can you hear me now? Is that turn on? Okay, the mic was on. How about now? Is the mic better now? I'm trying to see if I'm trying to figure things out here. I got a whole brand new mic setup. I'm doing everything brand new here. Is that better now? Can we hear me? Can you give me just hit that like button? Like if you actually can hear me. I know that my mic was. I'm still trying to figure this all out. Can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you, bro. How about now? No sound, no sound, no sound. How about sound? We got sound now? We got sound now? Everybody good? Everybody good? We got sound now? Before I go into some crazy rant about something or other. YouTube has no sound. That should have sound. Okay, everything should have sound now. Okay, I got a yes. I got a yes. I got let's see what else we got here. Facebook, can you hear me okay? No sound. We can hear you. Ah, wonderful. Got the sound. All right, see, I figured it out. I figured that you actually have to take it off of the mute button. I thought it was connected there. It was all still fine. All right, anyway, we're good. Look, hey, one game. One game, all right? Look, this is a game. Baseball is a game of wins and losses. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you lose in the bottom of the ninth, sometimes you lose in the top of the ninth, sometimes you win in the bottom of the ninth, which we saw over the weekend, and that was great. But this was a loss. It happens. Don't start getting, oh, the Dodgers suck now. Don't go to that. You know, every one of you know there, oh, you know what I'm missing? I am missing Instagram. Let me just grab that up. Whoop, you like that noise? I am now live. All right, see, there we go. Now I got this going on here. All right, so just so we know, everybody, after yesterday's game, all right, alone in first place. Oh, everything's great. Everything's fantastic. Yeah, look, a loss happens. It's going to they're going to win tomorrow night. They got Jason Vargas on the mound tomorrow night. Like, the guy's a joke. He's been pitching okay recently, but look, everything will be okay. Let's all calm down again. I know it's a loss. So, it's a loss. Oh, my God. It's all right. It's okay. All right, so let's try and get into this game just a little bit, and then we'll get to all your stuff just as normal. I'm trying to add as much as possible, but this is the way that we're going to do it. I'm trying to get this down here. Come on, you piece of garbage. All right, that's all the way at the bottom. Okay, good. All right, we're going to leave it there. All right, so now we have... This was a tough one. We just talked about it. This was a tough loss. It's coming off of huge wins over the weekend. Matt Kemp going crazy. He goes crazy over the weekend, and now look what he grounds into a double play tonight. Things are gonna happen. Like, this is baseball. Like, it's okay. Vargas no hitter. LOL. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, it was tough. We're all upset. But look, tomorrow's another day. They're only a half game back. Only a half game back of the Rockies. They're only going to be a half game. It's all going to go change. Look at bad the Rockies have been, too. They should have lost that game tonight. They were up 7-2. And when they were down 8-7 to San Francisco's pen is just terrible. Colorado's pen is just terrible. All these things are just terrible. It does fine. Their pens are bad. Our pen is good. Kenta Maeda in a second inning. I wasn't so into that whole Kenta Maeda in the second inning. For a second inning there, he likes to do this. He did it with Caleb Ferguson the other night. Gave him a second inning, and look what happens. I don't like a lot of the times. You have 1,000 pitchers in there. It's just in the ninth inning. There's something happening about that ninth inning where they just gets in their head. So let's just hopefully Kenley's now available again tomorrow, although I don't want him in a non-safe situation. Let's stay away from that. Jacob deGrom. I mean, look, can we just not talk? I understand that Jacob deGrom is a guy that plays for another team, and he didn't get the win tonight, but he's still a guy that plays for another team. That dude is straight fire. I don't care what anybody says about Jacob deGrom. That guy is unreal good. He does everything himself. He goes 6 innings again tonight. I think that was 25 in a row. It's the first time it's happened since 1913. 1913, 25 straight games of going 6 innings or more. He is a beast. He's got a below 1.7 ERA, and he's 8-8. That's crazy to me. He has an 8 WAR. He has over an 8 WAR, and he has 8 wins on the year. It's just crazy how bad this Mets team is, and the Dodgers had chances. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. The Dodgers had chances. They had first and third, and with nobody out in the 7th inning. Then they had second and third with 2 out in the 8th inning, and then they had first and third with 1 out in the 9th inning. They had the guys there. The runners in scoring position is a problem, but look, this is just one game. Let's move on. I got to give some love to my boy Justin Turner. That dude is just so good, too. I mean, he over the last 25 games, he has been the best player in baseball. He has over a 400 batting average. He has a over 500 on-base percentage, over 1,200 OPS. The dude is just mashing right now. And that's not talking about just home runs. He's hitting home runs, doubles, singles. He is just getting on base, and that's what you need from Justin Turner. So you got to love what he's doing there. And then again, the weekend power. We talked a little bit about the weekend power earlier, but look, it was a great this weekend against the Diamondbacks shows what this team can be and what it will be moving forward. They didn't do so well tonight, but moving forward, this is what this team is going to be. This team is going to be a team that can beat you later on in the year, and at the end of the 7th, 8th, 9th innings. They have the power. Look at that lineup. From top to bottom, there's guys, no matter who you bring off the bench, they're going to be good. Look at Alex Verdugo today. Alex Verdugo was fantastic. Alex Verdugo had a absolutely great game. His first 2 at-bats kind of got stolen from hits. The next 2, a big shot double, then he got a single up the middle. Verdugo played absolutely, and think about it, the night before, just on Sunday night, or was it? Yeah, no, Sunday night, he had a huge walk just to be able to get up so that we could have a chance to get to Matt Kemp and have that home and have that double. Alex Verdugo has been looking, and we've been calling. If you're on this post game over the last couple weeks, month, or whatever it is, Alex Verdugo has been called for about a month now. And now that he's here, he's not going anywhere. This is the time. It happens all the time. Guys come up in September, and then they come here to stay. And that's what this guy is. Alex Verdugo is now here to stay. I'm talking next year, too. You are going to see Alex Verdugo in a Dodgers uniform at the beginning of the year and throughout the year and add to that youth because Alex Verdugo is the man. All right. That's about what I got for the game today. There was a lot of things. I mean, look, it's a loss. It's a loss. Let's get into so much other things besides that. So remember, follow me on Twitter at BergmanGreg, at BergmanGreg. I'm here to answer everything. We talk all day long on this. When I'm over on Mason, Ireland, I'll still talk to you about Dodgers stuff. When they're not talking about it, I'm talking about it. And when the guys at Official Dodgers Nation are talking about it, I'm talking about it too. So let's all follow me on Twitter at BergmanGreg, at BergmanGreg. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's get right into your guys' questions, comments, reactions, whatever it is you want to talk about. Oh, I was waiting for this. Look how long. All right, I'm 9 minutes in. Here's already one. Fire Dave Roberts. It happened. They win 8 of 9, of which everybody's saying, oh, Dave Roberts did such a great job. He loses one game. Fire Dave Roberts. It's because it's a different lineup every game. No. What were you saying for the last 8 of 9 games? Okay, over the last 10 games. Nick Stocks talking to you on Facebook. Nick Stocks. Over the last 8 games, when they won 8 of 10, were you saying the same thing? Were you saying, oh, these lineups are crazy? When they were losing, when they were winning, were you still sad? Were you still upset? There's so much power and so much consistency. You have enough guys all throughout this lineup. I understand how frustrating it is. But this is the time to find out who is the guy. You have all these new guys coming in and out. This is the time to figure out who you're going to use in September. So look, this is where it's going to be. Look, Chris Taylor, everybody hated Chris Taylor, right? I was a huge Chris Taylor fan. He's off for me. I'm done with Chris Taylor. It was really rough. Hopefully he comes back next year and he's strong. Maybe he has a strong playoffs. Whatever it is, I'm hoping for Chris Taylor. However, he has not started in 4 games. 4 games. That's got to tell you something. Verdugo's getting at bats. You have Freeze is getting at bats. All these guys are. It's plenty. All right. Dave tries to make Maeda a closer. Again, Dave can't handle pitching. He makes so many wrong pitching choices, but he sucks. Gregory Peach. Wow. It's so who would you have liked to have brought in? Look, I didn't like Maeda going to that second inning. Totally understand you with you that. I'm with you there. Why not let Kemp start? Because he needs some time. He comes through at the end of the games. That was a bad spot for him. You know what? 2 games ago, I bet you Thomas Barwise Jr. 3 games ago, even 2 games ago, you were saying he was going to ground into a double play with that when he hit that home run. I guarantee you. And now, 2 games later, because he had 2 big hits, you're saying, why isn't he starting? I mean, I understand the hot bats at the hot times, but there's so many other things that go into play, and it's not Dave Roberts. So let's just move past that. I'm going to move over to another question because I can only answer the same question so many times. Let's see. They scored 3 runs the last 3 games. Johnny Look, you're playing pennant race baseball against Arizona. And then you come up against the best pitcher in baseball who's going to win the Cy Young Award in Jacob deGrom, and he pitched unbelievably. So you can't sit here and be upset with how you played against Jacob deGrom. They had chances. They had runners in scoring position the 7th, 8th, and 9th against that terrible bullpen. Got some double plays. You had, just a strikeout from Grandal. There's a lot of things that happened that could have gone other ways. It was too bad. It stunk. I'm upset with it, just like you're upset with it. But still, you have to move to the next game. They're going to lose games. All right, let's figure this out. What's the score? What are they right now? Let me see. They are now 75 and 63. They are 75 and 63. If you think that they are going to win every single game from here on out, I'm sorry, you're just lost your mind, because it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. They don't win every single game. That's impossible to happen. That's 138 games. There's 162. So what is that? That's 24 games. 24 games left. Am I doing my math right? 24 games? Yeah, I think 24. If you think they're going to go 24-0 over that period, you're crazy. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. They're going to lose a game here and there. It's too bad that it's to the Mets and to a bad team, but it was when Jacob deGrom was pitching. You had their chances. I'm sorry. This one, you can chalk it up as a loss. Too bad, but I'm with you. All right. Let's move over to YouTube. Andrew Martinez. Greg, this infield, or the infield with Lopes Garvey. I mean, look, this infield is fantastic. Lopes Garvey Russell infield was probably the best of all time, so you can't go against that. However, this infield with Turner, Machado, Dozier, even if it's Kike there and Bellinger at first, that is a strong 1, 2, 3, 4. That's extremely, extremely strong, and you can't be upset. So I'm a lot less worried now than when I was a week ago. Baseball's baseball. Baseball's baseball. It happens. You can't go 182-0. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. And it's just not going to happen. You don't just win every game. Bingo, you hit the nail on the head, Greg. Thank you, Lisa Jones. I like when people say I do things correctly. All I hear is you do things wrong a lot. So today, I like when Lisa, thank you. All right, let's go back over to Facebook. And you know what? I haven't gone to Instagram in a little bit. Let's go over to Instagram. What you got here? I lost it. I'm so sorry. I've got this new teeny tiny phone doing my work for me on Instagram, and it doesn't seem to be working all that fantastically. Let's see. Kemp is doing good. Yeah, Kemp has been great over a little bit. People need to remember baseball is a game of inches. If things happen, Dodgers win the division easy. Thank you. I love all this positivity. There's so much positivity here on Instagram. So much negativity on Facebook. Periscope is kind of in and out. Depends on the moment for Periscope. But, right now they're a little bit happier. They're somewhat good, somewhat bad. And then I know my boy Andrew Martinez on YouTube and Krish Patel are always, always happy and with me. So that's good. Let's see who else we got here. Aaron, sometimes it rains. Hey, thank you. AJ Gonzalez. Yeah. All right. There we go. All that's going good. Thank you. My point exactly. There you go. See, I like when people say my point exactly, because that means that I said something smart. And that's, always a good thing. Will we see Jansen pitch in Colorado? That's a good question. C. Lowe's 10. From what I'm understanding, no. No, we will not see Jansen even go to Colorado because, is it worth it? I understand this when it's a 3-game set against the team that's really fighting you for first place right now because the Diamondbacks lost again to the Padres. Padres playing spoiler all over the place. It's really nice. But do you really want him to go to Colorado where he just had all those problems? I'm assuming no. They're saying no. If they need him, maybe? Let's see. Greg, why wasn't Bellies given second base on the overturned foul ball down the line? That would have been second and third. You know what's interesting, and that's a nice question. I don't know the answer. Rafael Santiago on Facebook, I don't know the answer to that, but I don't really understand it either. If you're going to get, if you're going to give Verdugo third, and when he was standing right there at first base, you have to give Bellinger second. So I don't know why they left him there. Maybe it was just because the hit. I don't know. It's weird. These umpires, I never understand what the umpires do. Quit using the DeGrom excuse, dude. When he left, it was a battle of the bullpens, and we lost. Not to mention 4 for 32 with runners in scoring position and not going to get done. Hey, if you actually listen, Doug Crosby, I'm with you. The DeGrom excuse is not it, but when you are going 6 innings of just straight fire being thrown at you 99, 98, 97, 99 over and over and over, Doug, it changes your mindset. And I'm sorry, he is so good. And yes, they had chances in the once he left the 7th, 8th, and 9th, they had chances. The chances were all there, and they blew it. They did not get hits with runners in scoring position. So there's no excuse that's happening here. I'm saying you had a game against DeGrom, so those first 6 innings, you were getting the home run from Turner was huge all on its own. All right, so now I'm gonna drop that Nokia phone. You know what? If I, it's an iPhone 5 that I'm using for Instagram, and it's barely holding the power of the Instagram. It's already been telling me, no, you're full. I got rid of everything too. It's crazy. All right, let's see. Hey, Greg, you look like Brian Dozier. Hey, Dozier. Let's see. Now, on the Dodgers alone. All right, let's do this. Okay. I'm interested now. I get Chris Taylor. I got Cody Bellinger the other day. That was a weird one. I've never had Cody Bellinger. Now I'm getting Brian Dozier. So apparently, guys with beards look like every other Dodger. All right, you tell me who you think I look like. Let's get a big, the heart if you think I look like Chris Taylor. Let's get the thumbs up or like a thumbs up or whatever it is that you guys do on all these other different ones. If I look like Cody Bellinger, and if I look like Brian Dozier, just comment or something like that. I don't even know. People are always telling me, make sure that you're getting more interaction, so I'm trying to do that. I see you more of a CT3. Yeah, good. Jay Chang, I remember all you guys. I say your names out loud so I can remember every one of you guys. I see you more of a CT3, Village Idiot. Yeah, that's what I get the most. It's pretty much what I get the most. Farmer for Grandal. Here's the thing, Johnny Mail, you're thinking of Farmer from the years past. He is not. No longer, he is not a catcher anymore. I think over his last 25, 26 at bats at AAA, or games, he wasn't even playing catcher. They've moved him to third base. Will Smith and Rocky Gale were taking over the catching duties, and Rocky Gale is up, and it's another guy that is a good pitch framer that doesn't have the power that you're looking for. So Grandal is the guy. You need Grandal strong, because when he is, he fades year and night. He goes up and goes down. All right, put up a poll. Look, I'm not Sedano, but I will. You know what? I'm going to. After the game, if someone else wants to do it, if Dodgers Nation wants to do it, if they're listening, if anybody from Dodgers Nation is on here and you want to put up a poll, do I look more like Chris Taylor, Cody Bellinger, Brian Dozier? I don't care who it is. Just I would like to know who it is that I look most like, because for the most part, I think I get a lot of Chris Taylor. Although Travis Rogers at ESPN said I look like Bellinger, and that was interesting. That was a new one for me. All right, let's see. Let's get another thing going on over here. We just call you the infielder. Well, yeah. Look, my beard when it's really big is red, so it's like Justin Turner. So I'm and then Bellinger's a first baseman, Dozier's at second base, and you look like who you look. Thank you, Douglas. That's fine. People get upset, but I can't just talk straight ball the entire time. Then it's like, oh, you're boring and you don't talk about anything funny. So I try and mess around a little bit. Anyway. Yes, ball. I'll answer more of your questions then, because I know you're so upset, and I'm sorry. Assuming that they make the playoffs, what's your 4-man rotation in order? Kyle Gaffori. All right, that's tough. It really depends on who's pitching really well. Alex Wood was pitching really well until that 6th inning. I would go Kershaw 1, Buehler 2, and I don't care about lefty, righty, whatever. I'm going with who I think are the best pitchers and who I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go Kershaw 1, Buehler 2. I think I gotta go Hill 3, and then I'm gonna surprise and go Ryu 4 right now. I think he's proven himself as long as he stays healthy. That's it. Charlie, go ahead. You go ahead and sponsor an official Dodgers Nation post-game webcast poll. Go right ahead. You can put it right here on here. You can put it on Twitter at Bergman Greg, and that's at Charlie. You can tell I know it's on there. What's going on, that crazy Gino? Hey, good. I'm glad you're back, and you can call me Daddy. Greggy, Daddy. I have kids all over the place. It's fine. I see Yasiel Puig. Don't care what y'all see. Yasiel Puig, really? Okay. I think maybe in the facial features. I don't know. Whatever. Bellinger was on first base 2 times in a row with a runner on third with 1 out. I was screaming for him to steal second. It didn't happen, but a double play did happen both times. Sean, That's what you hope to, and this is the Dodgers have been one of the best good teams, one of the best teams in August. Now they're in September, but in August they were the best team in baseball to with stealing bases. So yes, but you have to still pick your spots. That's kind of how it works. I mean, you can't just run every single time. That's especially when there's a lefty on the mound. It doesn't matter. Like, you have to be careful. You don't just run right away. Run. They were getting the ground balls were coming with on 1-1 counts. Those aren't running counts. You have to be careful. You can't just run because it feels like the right time to run. They need to know. It's really what they want to do. All right, let's see. The rotation sucks. Sorry, damn go. The rotation sucks? I don't know how you can go with the rotation sucking on Instagram here. The rotation is really good. I don't know. This rotation, I wish I had Rick Krajewski watching right now and give me some kind of update, because he's the one that gives me all my stats on Twitter a lot of times. I look up a lot of my own, but if I want one, Rick Krajewski's got it. I think it's Rick_K21 on Twitter. He's got a lot of really, really good stats. He is a guy. The starting pitching doesn't give up runs. 1, 2, maybe 3. 3 runs. You do realize that 3 runs in 6 innings is a good start. That's a quality start. That's what you use. QS is quality start, and that is a big time stat that people use. And Jacob deGrom, 6 innings, 25 games in a row, first time since 1913. So it matters. If you're only giving up 3 runs, that's really good. You should be able to score more than that. Can I call you Jacob? Sure, I'll call you Jacob from now. Jay Cheng. Oh, hi, Jay Cheng. I will now call you Jacob. What's up, Jacob? All right, we good? We need Farmer, in my opinion. Why? Okay, Veronica, I think you're thinking about Farmer of last year getting a big hit at the wrong time. He's not better than Yasmani Grandal. He's not better than even Austin Barnes. I mean, he may get a hit, but he's also not a catcher. So they're not putting... You have to remember that they brought up Rocky Gale on Sunday because they wanted a third catcher, and that was not Farmer. So Farmer is not going to be that guy. He will get at-bats, and there's plenty of guys, maybe a lot of pinch hit at-bats, but that's what it's going to be. Dave Rubin, loving the hat, Greg, representing the I love this hat. I have a bunch of Travis Matthew hats. I've been trying to get sponsored by Travis Matthew, but I don't, If you know anybody at Travis Matthew, tell them I love their stuff, and I wear their stuff almost every day. I have shirts, I have hats, I got everything. I love their stuff. Stealing bases is not a big part of the game. That's why we were up last month. Exactly, Douglas. It's not. It's really not a big part of the game, and that's why you get rid of guys like D. Gordon. Everyone's like, oh my God, we got rid of D. Gordon because he was a good base stealer. You don't steal bases in the playoffs. It's so rare to actually do things like that. So I don't really care about stolen bases. Maybe to get out of that double play situation, I like that at times, but most of the time I'm not a big base stealing. I was like, oh, when it works, it's great. But when it doesn't, you're like, ah, God, why are you trying? You're giving it away an out, essentially, when you get caught stealing. Let's see. Is Ross Stripling comes back, does he make your list? He is a bullpen guy. CeeLo's 10, he is a bullpen guy now. He is going to come out of the pen, and along with Maeda, he is now, so he's going to be much, much better than that. He's not the guy there. Kirsch Buehler. Okay, you got the same thing. Kirsch, Buehler, Hill, Wood, or Ryu, Hill. So it doesn't matter, but I like Hill. I mean, I really like what Hill's been pitching. He's been pitching fantastic. And in the playoffs, he usually pitches really well too. If you remember in the World Series, Rich Hill got wins. He was in there. The second game. We're not going to go back to the World Series. That was my fault. I apologize. I'm sorry. When will we see Julio Urias? All right, there's a good question. I know everybody's in love with Julio Urias. Don't expect to see Julio Urias for a little bit of time. And if you do see him, don't expect him to be some amazing big-time guy that's going to come in and just blow everybody away. That's not who he is. That's not what's going to happen. Julio Urias is not the same guy. He's not ready yet. Hope that he comes back next year and he's strong next year. I think that Julio Urias, and he just pitched out of AAA, and he did not pitch well. He's been giving up home runs. He's been giving up hits. He's not striking out a lot of guys. He's hitting right around 94, 95. That's hot. It's pretty good, but it's not. You're not seeing the same Julio Urias. And a good guy to find anything of that is SD Dodger. He had a lot of write-ups about it. SD Dodger at Dodgers Nation wrote a bunch of good stuff about Julio Urias. Greg, if stealing bases is not a big deal at this time, then why did the Dodgers bring up LoCastro? Well, you bring up Locastro because he's also a good hitter as well. There's also a Future Dodgers on Twitter, at Future Dodgers. They have watched every single game, and he told me directly, he watches every game and looks at every stat. He loves what he's seeing from Tim Locastro. Yes, he is a speed guy, but that's not him to steal bases. A pinch runner is a big deal, especially in the playoffs. Even this time of year, when you have all the 40 men up, when you have a guy like Tim Locastro up, you can pinch hit, you can pinch run for guys like Grandal when you have 3 catchers, or you can pinch run for whoever doesn't have the speed that you were expecting. This is a very fast team, but it's still there's going to be guys that are going to be. Sorry, I was getting thirsty. But Tim Locastro is a good. If you have a pitcher that gets on base and you need a pinch runner, there's a lot of guys that you're going to have that are going to be that you need pinch run for, and Tim Locastro is going to be that guy. He's also supposed to be a pretty good hitter too, and his numbers looked really good in AAA. I have the numbers up on Twitter. I just don't remember them off the top of my head at the moment. Smart base running doesn't always mean stealing bases. Locastro, smart base runner. There you go. That's exactly what it is. It's not about the speed. It's not about the stealing of the bases. It's about knowing how to run on the bases. How many times have we seen Yasiel Puig make that turn at after the first base and get caught because he makes the turn instead of getting back to first base, or he overruns a base, or he hits his face on the ground, or whatever it is. There's a lot of things that guys, and you had David Freese telling him to go to third base the other day, and that was a huge thing. So a lot of it makes it different. Do we all not recognize Maeda was going to blank up? He's not a ninth inning pitcher. His heart isn't into relief pitching. He's already said that in the ninth inning, it's a different vibe for him. It's very, very difficult. Hey, thank you, Clint Evans. I got that poll up for me on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, at Dodgers Nation, at Bergman Greg, there's a poll up there. It's all about who I look like. It's the best poll I've ever been a part of. Let's say that. I agree with you on everything. You have great point on what we should not do. All right. Well, thank you, Taylor. I'm glad that you listened to everything that Dodgers Nation said, because most of us are very smart. And we watch every pitch. So anyway, except for that guy, Kevin Perez Allen. That guy, Jesus, what a crazy dude that dude is. FRG, he's a smart guy most of the time. Hashtag analysis. Good. I'm glad you're not angry. Can't wait to see Gavin Lux play. Kid's going to be a stud. Gavin Lux is going to be a stud. You're not going to see him now, but he is going to be a stud. Also, Dustin May, gonna be a stud. There's a whole bunch of things. D Mountain turns it up in the playoffs. That's what I like to see too, bro. Yes, he does. In the playoffs, he's a good pitcher. He doesn't ever want to come out. They take him out, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, we're not going to go back into last year, but there's a lot. They should put Kike to close. No, Kike is not coming anywhere near a pitching mound ever again. Where Kike should go is to get a catcher's mitt and do it one time. One time. I don't care if it's one pitch. Before this season is over, let Kike catch, please. I know FRG's got a big poll going up where he wants FRG. Can you stop judging other fans? I don't. You know what? I try not to judge other fans. I actually like the interaction between the two. You tell me this is LOL. You're on here all the time. You should know I don't. I try not to judge. I'm going to tell you what I think. You tell me what you think. If you don't agree with me, I give you a counterpoint. You give me a counterpoint. And then we agree to disagree for the most part. So I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to give you my point of view. There's never any type of judgment on any of you because you're all fans. I'm just telling you all to kind of relax because you can't go by one game in and game out because it's difficult to do that. When you do that, you're going to just be really upset after losses and be really high. It's too tough. You have to just see what's going on. Sometimes they lose. The ball bounces the wrong way. Look at it. This is twice now this happened to Machado. It happened last week and it happened today when he hit a ball, a strong double to right. This time it was to right field and it bounces in. That was easily going to be he could have easily gotten a second and Justin Turner comes around to score and it's a whole different ball game. Instead, he gets stuck on first and third and then they end up getting out of the inning. And so it's the bounce of a ball, inches. It's how it works. Let's see. Because I answered year before, will a lot of big accounts judge others just because they have followers? I mean, let's be honest here. I have like 2,400, maybe less than that, followers. I don't have 35 to 100,000 followers. I don't judge anybody. It's not in my DNA. It's tough. Why? Because you would judge me. What's the point of that? I'm not a big fan of that. So I don't like doing any of those things. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, I accidentally hit some, so forget that. You work for the Dodgers. I do not work for the Dodgers. Maiden Jacob, I do not work for the Dodgers, so I'm going to tell you what I feel. If I think that something happened wrong, I'm going to tell you. The Dodgers don't own me. The Dodgers don't do anything for me. They don't give me anything. I just talk about the game. So think about this. I'm telling you, I don't think that it was the right move to keep Kenta Maeda in the game for a second straight inning. It's just how it is. I'm not owned by the Dodgers. I don't think Dave Roberts is. I actually like Dave Roberts because you have to. All right. I did this last week. I'm going to do it again for everybody here, okay? Here, this is my whole thing. All right. What I think about Dave Roberts, and this is not something the Dodgers would ever say, because you know what? Anything, by the way, just real fast, just because I see this out of the corner of my eye. Have you heard anything about regarding Yadier Alvarez being AWOL? I did hear what happened with that. Basically, what happened is that Yadier Alvarez left the game. He wanted to start the game. He didn't. He was not going to start. So he took an Uber and he went 130 miles in an Uber. It cost him like $300 or whatever it was. And then he agreed to come back. He did come back. He pitched in the game today, and he pitched a scoreless inning. So that's that. All right. Anyway. About Dave Roberts, and all of you either you love Dave Roberts or you hate Dave Roberts or you're kind of about Dave Roberts. It doesn't matter, okay? And I understand that's an angry, people don't like you when you say that. It doesn't matter. Let's all take a deep breath and I'm telling you, okay? Managers win you or lose you combined 8 to 10 games a year. Total. Before the game starts, Andrew Friedman, Farhan Zaidi, Dave Roberts all get together and they talk about almost every single situation that's going to happen. Sometimes he has to make some decisions all on his own, but I'm sure most of it is not. Most of the decisions go through the upper management. They are the ones. Yes, he is a puppet. And you think the Dodgers are going to tell you that? No chance. Dave Roberts is a puppet. He is there just to be a face of the franchise. He's there to talk after a postgame about things that happen. Dave Roberts does not need to be fired because he doesn't do anything. He is there to keep the egos down. There's not a lot of egos on this team, but it's all about keeping the egos down. He gets along with the guys. They love him. He loves them. There's really not going anything else different. He's not doing anything. Dave Roberts is better than Don Mattingly because Don Mattingly doesn't believe in analytics, whereas Dave Roberts believes in the analytics and he does whatever the front office tells him. So he's not really doing much of anything. He is there to write the lineup card. He's there to talk about things afterwards. He's there just to be there. And he'll go argue every once in a while, but I don't think that Dave Roberts has much say in anything. He is it's probably terrible for me to say this, but I'm not owned by the Dodgers. He is a puppet. He is a guy that is there to anything. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. And so if you haven't, if you believe otherwise, that's totally fine. But I'm telling you, he doesn't do anything. I'm your puppet. Those that want to see Dave Roberts gone, keep dreaming. He'll stay there for a long. He's going to because he does what the front office wants. Who do you want to take over for him that's going to be as analytically driven? That's just what it. I've noticed that when it's positive, people say Dave Roberts got us here or there. Because every other sport, okay? Every other sport, the coach actually has a bit of it matters. In football, the head coach matters. In basketball, the head coach matters. Look at the difference. Look what happened when Phil Jackson took over for the Lakers from Del Harris. It got better. They won championships. He wasn't able to maximize what they had there. He changed the whole scheme. It's all basketball. It makes a difference. In football, it makes a difference. You know what you see, like Bill Belichick makes a difference. He's different than a guy like Hugh Jackson. Obviously hasn't won a game. We don't know anything much about him, but he's also probably more analytic. But it's all that it actually matters. In hockey, it matters. That's why they get rid of guys right away. That's why they change up a lot of things. So every game, every sport except for baseball, the manager matters. The manager just doesn't matter in this. I'm sorry. There's so many other things that are going on. Hitters hit, pitchers pitch, and a lot of it, I mean, if you want to blame guys, blame the hitting coaches, blame the pitching coaches, which you can't blame Rick Honeycutt because look what he's doing to these guys. They're all pitching really well. All right. That being said, do you think the Dodgers Max Machado, even though his numbers aren't good in LA, he's got actually pretty good, strong numbers in LA, and he's been really good over the last couple weeks. All right, if Dave Roberts were really just a puppet, why bother hiring him? They already had a stat monkey in Dave Kapler. and Gabe Kapler, who you think? Look, Gabe Kapler was that guy, but he was just coming up. He was in the minors at that point. They hired Dave Roberts. They wanted a bigger face. Gabe Kapler went over to, and he is a stat guy too. He's the same thing, and he's working well in Philadelphia, but they're in second place. Everybody wanted him gone in Philadelphia in the beginning of the season. So it's just think about it. Look at all the guys. You think that Alex Cora in Boston is really doing that much? No. I mean, even Joe Maddon's not doing that much. The guy, the new guy in St. Louis isn't doing that much. You're seeing Mike Scioscia, a guy who's an old school guy, a guy that is not the guy that was really wants to be in charge. He's basically being pushed out the door because he's not winning. So it's an analytic-driven world, and it's an analytic-driven game, and the analytics have taken over, so it doesn't matter about Dave Roberts. But he is a great guy, and that's why he's there. And he's a good dugout guy, just like they're saying here on Periscope. So that is my soapbox. That is as much as I'm going on that. I want a stolen base in the World Series. We want tacos. Sammy Castellanos. Roberts does not play the intelligent, but does not use the bunt. They used the bunt the other night. I mean, it's a lot of, when you use the bunt, analytics, and this is all goes together, analytics say that a bunt is a waste of an out. That's just what the analytics say, and that's why you don't see it very often. Sometimes when Kike used it last night, it was a great bunt. It was a perfect bunt. It moved guys over. It was perfect. It's just, it has to be done at the right time. They have to use the bunt when it's the right time to use the bunt. It's so weird hearing David Free's name called on for plays as a Dodger. It really, Ernest Moda, it is very weird. All right, Village Idiot, who always says something smart. Greg, will the Dodgers ever ditch analytics baseball? This all right-handed lineup versus all lefty and a left-handed lineup versus a righty is not working. I say just play the hot hand. That's a big, big point of debate. And if you go on my Twitter, at BergmanGreg, if you go on my Twitter, I had a poll about it just a little bit ago, last week. And do you go with the hot hand, or do you go with the all-righty or the all-lefty lineup? You have the ability to have basically an all-righty or all-lefty lineup. And so, for the most part, you're seeing the top of the order stay the same. So let's all get that out of the way. Dozier or Peterson, then it's Turner and Machado. Turner and Machado are always going to be 2 and 3. Always. Always, and that's where they should be. It's the right move, and they're both thriving as the 2 and 3 hitter. They're going to strike out sometimes. You have to be okay with it. But it's all changes. It changes from time to time. But for the most part, we're going to see it. It's just, this is an analytics world. We're going to see that happen more so than we did before. All right. What's with the different lineup every night? It's September, and he basically has the same team as the last 2 years. How can Roberts not know by now, September, who to start and who not to? Nick, he does know who to start. It's up to Farhan Zaidi. It's Andrew Friedman. It's up to them. They make the lineups every day. They're going to win more games than they're going to lose in September. I can almost guarantee. I mean, as much as I can't guarantee it, I'm going to do my best to guarantee it. It's just how it is. You're going to see a different lineup every day. They have so many guys that want to play and need to play, and you're going to see guys it's September now, so everybody's up. So you're going to see, if it's versus a righty, you're going to see a bunch of lefties in the lineup, and then if a lefty comes in as a reliever, you're going to see a bunch of those lefties leave and a bunch of righties come in because they're going to play the matchups, because the analytics say that with the matchups, you're going to get hits when the matchup is correct. I know there's a lot of they should play the right guys. Look, Max Muncy played today because he's been hot. That's just, they needed to find a place for him, and they put him at second base because of it, and that's what you're seeing. All right, nope, we won the series against the Mets. We will win the series against the Mets. I'm not even worried about that. I'm from the future. Good. Then did they win the World Series, Gio? Can you tell me that? Alex Verdugo should be a starter and the leadoff hitter. He gets on base, and that's what they need from a leadoff hitter. Jock Peterson has been doing just that. Dozier, for the most part, had been doing that. He's not hitting so well recently, but you're going to see him. I mean, if you want Verdugo there, but you also want him hitting with runners in scoring position. He's getting hits. You want him with runners on. You want him to start off innings. I get it. I would love to see him sometimes. I bet you he does at some point start at the top of the lineup every once in a while. But it's going to go as it goes. Analytics, real-time baseball should be 50-50. Jesus Vargas, I agree with you. We lost the World Series because the opposing manager decided to go off the field instead of analytics Game 7. Say it isn't so. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there's a lot of it that needs to happen there. And all right, now we're getting into the fire Friedman and Farhan. That's a little bit nutsy too, just because look what the guys, they're getting you guys every single year. This year alone, they have gotten you Ryan Madsen, Manny Machado, Brian Dozier, David Freese, all at the end, and John Axford, who's got a broken leg. But you just can't expect. They gave you Manny Machado, top 5 player in all of baseball. They gave you Manny Machado. You don't fire. They spend the money when they need to. They're staying on that 197, and I bet you next year it goes way up, and they spend way more money. Just wait for it. It feels like they're doing what the McCourts started to do, deliver enough to cash in the cow, but never to win it all. They went to Game 7 of the World Series last year. They went to the NLCS the year before that. It's getting bigger and bigger each year. Baseball is hard. Playoffs are a crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. They got to get there first, which I get. I really honestly believe they're going to get there because they have everything. It's all there. They have the starting pitching. They have the relief pitchers. They have the closer who looked great against Arizona. They have the righties. They have the lefties. They have the power. They have the on base. They have everything. It just all needs to come together, and it will. And now is the time for that to happen. All right. They give us Reddick, McCarthy, Kazmir, Granderson, Maeda. I mean, those guys at the time, people were excited about Granderson. Granderson, in the second game he played, hit a grand slam, and everyone was ecstatic. He ended up being terrible, and he didn't even make the postseason roster. Reddick was supposed to be really good, and he won a World Series last year and had some big hits in that series. Reddick didn't come through in the beginning of the year. When he got traded, Reddick didn't come through. September, he actually had a really strong September. He had an over 300 batting average. He had a high on-base percentage. If you go back and look, he actually was not that bad. So you're remembering the bad. People remember the bad at the beginning or the good at the beginning, and they don't think about anything at the end. So if you look all the way through, they actually wasn't that bad. Reddick was he doesn't have the mind to be in LA. We don't have the relievers. What game you've been watching? All right, I had it. I wonder. I don't know. I don't have it right in front of me, but I got it from David Krajewski or Rick Krajewski on Facebook. Over the last 20 games, they were top 5 bullpen in baseball. Over the last 15 games, they were top 3 bullpen in baseball. And over the last 10 games, they've been the top 4 in all of baseball. So you can't say that it's the bullpen. You're seeing games in the 9th inning that have been, and if you take away those 9th innings that were really, really bad, and you lost a lot, then without Kenley Jansen, if you had Kenley Jansen in those situations, it's probably different. I know Kenley gave up a couple things, and there's a whole bunch of issues, but he's fine now. So there's a lot of good things that are happening there. Is Mason and Ireland back tomorrow? Yes, they are back tomorrow. But the bullpen itself has been really good. I mean, I know you're talking about, if you see it in the 9th inning and you see them give away, you see Maeda in his 2nd inning give up a 3-run home run. He shouldn't have been there in that situation. Those are the types of things that I don't like from Dave Roberts, because those are the times where he needs to step in and say, he doesn't have it. I got to bring in another guy out of the pen. And this is, I mean, I don't know who they had available back there. I know they used Alexander, they used Floro, they used Roscup, they used Baez, they used a lot of guys, but there's so many other guys. I think they even used, and then they ended up bringing in Madsen. You can bring in Madsen earlier than that. He's got experience as a closer, and that wasn't even a closed situation. That was a tie game, 1-1, and it's all would have changed. It all could have been different, but they gave up the home run. It was a brutal home run, but that's baseball. Greg, do you foresee MLB using a digital strike zone in the near future? Oh my, Rafael Santiago, God, I hope so very much. I really do. It's so bad. The home plate umpires are really bad, and they're so different. One guy gives you the high strike, another guy gives you the low strike, another guy takes away the outside strike, another guy gives you the outside strike, and one guy gives you the inside. Sometimes a guy gives you all the way outside of the plate. The strike zones are never ever the same, game in, game out. You need an electronic strike zone. I hate things like that. Usually I'm an old school mentality guy. I don't I want to see an electronic strike zone. Just get it call right. That's all I want. Scott Alexander doesn't even know how to throw strikes. He got out of that inning, and he has been really good when he's not closing a game. Let's see. Berg, you're contradicting yourself. I'm not sure I am. You're saying he's a puppet. What if Friedman said to keep him in? Well, if Friedman seems to keep him in, that's what he's doing. But there's times where, as a manager, it's where you have to look. I understand that I'm contradicting myself just a little bit. His in-game management is a problem, and that's what happens. People were talking about it in the World Series. A.J. Hinch moved away and did what he said he wanted to do. A.J. Hinch is an analytic guy that listens to the top. There's so many it's Roberts. I would love for him to be able to do that, but he doesn't do that, and that's another part of Roberts doesn't do it. So it's that there's times where you have to be able to see. I don't care if Friedman or Zaidi call down and they say, "Hey, he ain't got it." Pull him out, but that's just not what happens. So there's times where there's going to be moments where he needs to make a decision, and he does not make the correct decision all the time. And it's mostly with the bullpen decisions. I have a problem with a lot of those. But for the most part, he doesn't do much. Home plate umps cost more games than badge management. It's true. It's absolutely true. All right, I haven't been over to Instagram in a little bit, so let me go here. Then there's that umpire. Oh, is Wood a starter? Isn't Wood a starter? Village? No, well, he is a starter right now, but I bet you he goes to the pen. You only have enough for 4 spots, and he's going to go to the pen at some point. Then there's that umpire that is quiet when calling strikes. Like you, sometimes you get the guy that, yeah, strike 3. Like it's these big things, and there's the guy that's just strike 3. It's just, I mean, whatever. I don't care if they do some big old thing. The only thing I want the home plate umpire to do is call whether the guy is out or safe at home on a close play. And most of the time, they get it wrong. They got it wrong the other night they had to go to because it looked like Cody Bellinger threw Goldschmidt out at home plate, and they had to go went and got it reviewed, and Goldschmidt was safe. So they get that wrong. It's you need the guy there to do that, but they usually get it wrong anyway. So what are you going to do? Actually, he's not wrong. I don't know who's wrong. Then there's that umpire. That was something else. I got it. Is Chase going to the Hall of Fame? Oh, that's a difficult. I think so. I think Chase Utley deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for everything he's done. His second base, what he's done in Philadelphia was beyond great. He was great in the World Series twice. He is a Hall of Fame player in my eyes. First and third with no outs aside from Turner, Machado, and Kemp, I don't see other contact hitters who aren't trying to swing for the fences every at-bat. That's how we lose close games. Jay McLovin, I disagree. I think that Cody Bellinger has been the consummate good guy with 2 strikes. When he has 2 strikes, he's just like Mike Trout. He is shortening his swing, and he's just trying to get on base. And he's just getting singles. He's not trying to swing for the fences anymore like he was earlier in the year. So if you should add Bellinger into that. Other guys, you're still thinking about like the Muncies when they're swinging from their heels, and Kemp swinging from his heels, and Taylor, who always swings from his heels. A lot of those guys, and even Grandal is swinging from his heels. So in those situations, I mean, there's other guys that you can bring up there, and I like having Verdugo ability to be able to do that. Kemp is Kemp back to normal? I mean, look, he grounded into a double play, but he's going to do that sometimes, and he's going to give you home runs sometimes. You got to live with the good and the bad. That's how a lot of the guys are. All right. Bellinger, Seager will both be MVPs in their career. Save this tweet. I agree with you, Niles Lover. I agree with you. Seager, it's too bad that Seager hurt, but I mean, by Seager getting hurt, you bring in Machado, who has been really good, but Seager will be an MVP. I think Bellinger has the ability to now. If he keeps with what he's doing right now and being a guy that's going to shorten up his swing with 2 strikes and get on base and do a lot of the good things that he has been doing, I think Bellinger absolutely will be an MVP at some point. I'm totally with you. Bernie Hernandez on YouTube. Do you take Kenley to Colorado? I think you need the closer there, but I just don't think that they're going to, and I kind of understand it because his health is more important. He's had the issue twice in Colorado. I don't think you need to do it. I think you have to let him stay home. What's the point of catchers if going to stick to strike? Well, the catcher, he's actually calling the. You need the catcher. The catcher is calling the different pitches, and he's trying pitch framing. There's a lot that catchers do that are blocking balls in the dirt, going up high. There's a lot that catchers do. You need the catcher. The home plate umpire you need just to call safer out at close plays at home plate. Cybernetic Slayer, another cookie cost us tonight. You know what? That's live and die by the home run. That's how it works a lot of times. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm going to go over to Periscope. Let's see. Can't risk the health and losing him for the year. Exactly. I mean, one only thing I don't like is when they switch out their number 4 hitter. They switch out the number 4 hitter all the time. It really depends on who's pitching, how they do against them. Look, when Madison Bumgarner is pitching, I want Kike Hernandez in the 4 spot. When he's not pitching, I don't want Kike Hernandez in the 4 spot. But he's been getting much better. Bergman, dude, we are not the Spankies. Everyone is trying to swing for the fences. Look, Hamilton, if you look at, they're actually one of the best teams in baseball with hitting home runs. They just aren't doing a lot of it with guys on base. I think the last I saw it, I think in the National League at least, they were leading all of the National League in home runs. So you can say they're not, but all these guys have power and they hit home runs. It just needs to be with guys on base now. Jock does the same. Get him out of the line at leadoff spot. He doesn't walk enough, fly out, or mash a home run. I mean, Jock has been really good. He's been getting on base. He's actually has some of the highest on base percentage on the team. So I don't technically agree with that. But Jock, I mean, he had a little bit of a slump, but he's back to being Jock for the most part. I mean, he just barely missed one tonight. You want to call that a flyout? It was at the wall. It's tough to hit a home run at Dodger Stadium. I mean, that's just how it is. Leave Kenley at home. I want the Dodgers to win, but not at the expense of Kenley's health. I agree. Totally agree with you. I still don't like Machado as a person. A player, yeah, he's good, just like Harper. I mean, I don't know what Machado has done to make you not like him as a person, but his defensive ability is fantastic. He is so good. Doesn't matter if he's at third base or shortstop. He makes some ridiculous plays. I love having him in the lineup every day. How do we go from amazing in 20-7 to 1-7 and runners in scoring position? You know what? Because it's baseball. Sometimes you get the hits, sometimes you don't. I mean, look at the runners in scoring position for mostly the same team minus minus JD Martinez. I mean, it's a lot of the same team in Boston. They weren't that good last year. I don't know. See ya, Jacob. Let's see. I know he said like a person, he don't like him, and that's a stupid. I mean, you don't know him as a person, so I don't know. I mean, maybe you do, and if you know him and you don't like him as a person, then you have every right to. But I don't know him as a person, so I can't say I don't like him as a person. I love what he does on the baseball field, though. Let's see. People just have short memories. Of course, yes, they do. Grandal to list too. I can't hit in clutch situations. That list goes on with Taylor and Puig. Grandal and Puig are both in slumps right now. Grandal is one of those guys. It's a weird guy. He is a up and down guy, and when he is hitting, he is bombing balls. When he's not, he's striking out a lot and hitting into double plays. I mean, Grandal is your typical boom or bust, but when he is hot, he is hot. So hopefully he can find a way to become hot again. He already was earlier this year. Hopefully it can come back to being hot later on. Only thing I don't like, let's see. Machado stole your girl. Let's see. What do we have here? Let's see. How do you grade a player that's in his 5th year, season average or career average? For the most part, it's year by year. Look, for the most part, so many things happen. Matt Kemp wasn't supposed to make the team, and he has been close to, if not the absolute MVP of this team throughout the year. He went through about a month of just being terrible, but he's back to being a little bit better and getting big hits. But last year and the last couple of years, he was 170 pounds and couldn't hit anything, and he wasn't very good. But now he's coming here, so you have to go year by year. I don't really like that. I mean, it's tough. Analytics are weird. I love analytics, but I hate them at the same time. You can't live and die by analytics. It's such a weird thing. I think the Dodgers do live and die by it, but I don't like it. People need to watch some other guys catch. Grandal actually not that bad. He's actually one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. If you look at it by the numbers, I think he is number 2 in pitch framing. I think he's number 2. He's actually one of the best pitchers in baseball in defensively. I know he drops a lot of balls and he gives a lot of. It's just weird, but he's actually really good. Dude, we have been doing this all this season long. I have watched every game since day one, and our running scoring is one that is causing the most damage. Yeah, look, it has been. You're right, on Instagram. You're right. It's runners in scoring position has been a problem. They got big hits in runners in scoring position last year. They're not getting those, and they're only a half game out of first place. So when baseball is a game that it catches up to itself, they were starting to get hits with running in scoring position. It was all starting to happen. It started off poorly because you had Jacob deGrom there. Then you had the bullpen. You had all this momentum to do it, and they just failed. Tonight was a fail, and that's unfortunately how it is. All right, I only have about 5 I only have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to try and get as much as I can in here. Okay, you got to be real. Last time Kemp was on our team, he was our MVP. Absolutely. He was supposed to be the MVP. And then Ryan Braun and his steroids took it away from us. How many good throws has Grandal dropped at the plate to let someone score? Also, besides Kenley, who can we really rely on the bullpen in the playoffs? Going cheap is going to cost us. Kim lies. You know what? I understand why you believe that. I don't agree. I think that everybody that they have in that bullpen, not everybody, but most guys they have in that bullpen are really good when they're not in the ninth inning. Kenta Maeda is going to be fantastic out of the bullpen in the playoffs when he's not in the ninth inning for 1 inning. Ross Stripling is going to be really good in the playoffs, I think, when he is only pitching 1 inning. Alex Wood or Rich Hill or both or one of those is going to move to the bullpen. They're going to be good. Scott Alexander will be good in the playoffs, pitching for just trying to get ground ball outs. Dylan Floro has been okay. There's been a lot of who else can I have in that bullpen? I don't think maybe Ryan Madsen makes it. He's been good. He's been decent in the bullpen. There's a lot of guys that are going. The bullpen is going to be fine. I think that actually it's not even going to look like it does right now. But there's a lot of guys. Zach Roskup has looked really, really good. Hopefully he carries it on into the playoffs. Baez has been good. I don't think I see him though. Hill stay as a starter, though, please. I agree. I think that he should be. 100% agree on bullpen. I'm not sure what it is about. Not getting hits with runners scoring and still going to make the playoffs. Can't wait to see that change in post. I'm not changing anything. But in the postseason, I hope so, too. But they're getting the runners now. So it's going to happen. Todd Baez for Cy Young. Get the hell out of here. You're crazy. He is a Dodger fan in the making. I know. Look, I love all you guys. And I love all these guys that get so upset. Stripling, you know what? Stripling against Houston. If you actually go back and look, I don't think he gave up a run. I think he had maybe one inning, an inning and a third in the World Series, or 2/3. He gave up 0 runs. He did give up a shot that stopped right at the wall, but he did. Who's our 2B next year, Renee? I think Dozier stays there. And if it's not Dozier, then Seager, and you keep Machado. There's a lot of things that can go around. But for the most part, I think it's going to be Dozier. I think that'll be Dozier there. I don't see why he wouldn't re-sign here. Everyday starter. I bet you, Nick, you weren't saying that 2 days ago that Kemp should have been an everyday starter. But if you were, good for you. But I think that he... let's see. I'm going to go back over here. Hill equals most underrated pitcher. He's been fantastic. And everybody that says that they don't like Rich Hill, they're just not watching. Let's see. That's going back there. I was hoping for Puig surprise bunt to score Verdugo. That's just difficult. No, probably not going to happen. A surprise bunt has to be done at the exact right problem. Alan Bomelin, bullpen is not junk. The bullpen has been top 5 in baseball over the last 20 games. Easily over the last 20 games. In baseball, top 5. So go back and actually look at the numbers. I know you were seeing all the losses, but they've also won 8 of their last 10. And new catcher, please. The guys are going through struggles. All right, I got 1 minute. I'm going to try and get as much as I can in here. All right. Up of walk-offs grand slam. Live and die by it. Let's see. Win each series. Let's get these next 2 doors. That's what I like to see. I like the positivity from Cybernetic Slayer. That's right. Let's see. I think Muncy will get traded to an American League team in the offseason. I see him he is more of a DH. He's only like 26 years old though, so they might try and keep him around. He just can't play any position. So, and I just hate the DH so much, but it's true. It affects the team chemistry, changing it up every game. I don't agree. I think chemistry is an overrated thing in baseball. Everybody is an individualized sports. The only thing that matters is pitcher, catcher, and second base, second base, shortstop. Those are your biggest guys that really need to be in. Everybody else, you're going to call for the ball in the outfield. You're going to dive for balls at first and third. It's really the chemistry in the dugout is actually really good. They're really, really good, and they seem to all really love each other and get along great. So I'm not. Oh, don't forget about Ferguson. Caleb Ferguson has been really good. You don't pitch him 2 innings. You don't pitch most of these guys 2 innings. Just keep the 1 inning guys for the most part. I don't like all the switching up either, but that's whatever it is. All right. That's it for me. It's been an hour. I've done my hour. I'm trying to talk to you more. I will be back Wednesday for sure. Possibly tomorrow, but for sure I'll be back Wednesday. And look, by the time we get back on Wednesday, there's going to be 2 more wins. 2 more wins, and everybody's going to be happy. They're going to be alone in first place. It's going to be all this great. Everyone's going to be happy. So let's just try to live that. Hey, let's get a win. We're still only a half game back. Let's get a win. I'm done. Thank you guys very much. I will see you all next Wednesday, on Wednesday. 2 days.